So we have arrived here at Elsinor, only an hour from Copenhagen Central Station, but is it really worth that hour? Is it something you should go up and visit? Is it so interesting as they say? Let's head out and find out. As we exit the station, the first thing we're greeted by is the ferry terminal, which is not that inviting, but it's a great way to get to Sweden. But it also pays, well, kind of an homage to the first stop we're going to make. Because if you continue down the harbour, down to the ship's wharf, you will find the Danish Maritime Museum, and that's the first stop on our trip. So let's head in and see if it's something you should visit. Of course, I started by going in the wrong way. So when you get in through the entrance and have paid the entrance fee, go to the right, not the left, because it gave me the wrong start, so now I'm back at starting from the beginning and trying again. And in the start of this museum you see, well, the early life of sailors, how they transformed the big cities, what life was like, what they took with them home to Denmark. And it tells the story with a combination of sounds, pictures, trinkets they have brought home. But they do it in an integrated way, so they really get the story forth, which is actually quite great. On the halfway mark through this museum, roughly 45 minutes in, there's a cafe. So if you get hungry while walking around in here, well, that's an option. But for me, it's always because I have something more special. After the next museum, I have something more special. Great place to eat. So stay tuned. The combination of interactive items, exhibits, and sounds and moving pictures. Well, it gives you a great deal of immersion into this museum. It gives you a look into the life of sailors as it has been, as it is, and it's actually quite interesting. And I can see myself spending a couple of hours in here just looking at the ship models, because they have great big exhibits of ship models. So let's head onwards, and my true honest opinion you will get at the end of this museum. But stay tuned, because I have another great museum also. The old dry dock makes this an ideal location for a naval museum or a seafaring museum, because it's focused on the merchant navy. There are no military ships in there, and it's focused on the life of the merchant navy, which makes this museum unique. I have been to plenty of naval museums, plenty of ship museums, but this one makes it so special because it's not only models, it is not only items on display, it's an interactive experience, a fully immersive experience. So I warmly recommend, if you're an adult, well, go visit the museum. If your kids along, there are a great playground, there are great activities for kids, and it is kids friendly, so take them along. So basically it's a warm recommendation, and let's head for the next museum. It's somewhat in the same genre, but totally different. So let's head out there and see this next museum, which is on the outskirts of Elsinor. Of course, in Elsinor, I have to see the technical museum, so let's head in and see if it's something you should visit. If it's, well, adult-friendly, kids-friendly, all of that. But first, we have to head in there, pay for the ticket, and get on with watching all the interesting things they have in there. So follow along and see what they have. Alright, as I walk around in here, I see they have great exhibits. They have great exhibits of bikes. A lot of bicycles, so yeah. It is a technical museum, so you will see a lot of technical stuff. And well, this is part of transport development, and it requires a lot of technical know-how to actually develop the bike, at least when they started it. Today we know a lot about it, so we know great deal about making bikes. But then let's see what else this museum holds. I like this chair behind me, and I know it from home healthcare, where we used it to raise elderly people because it can lay flat on the ground and then you raise the people up to this seating position. So, yeah. It's also in a museum, which is quite odd when I have used it. With this technical stuff. They even got an old fire station in here, so yeah, old fire trucks. I find it more and more intriguing in this museum, and this is a special thing I want to show you because they have a special exhibit right now, but stay tuned for that. First of all, let's explore some more of this museum. You can even get into the old firehouse, which is the control station right there. You would call down and they would call up people, they would ring with a bell, because not all fire stations out in rural areas had firefighters on station. But they would have someone to man the phone because someone needs to. Today it is all automatic, and where I live is controlled from around 100 kilometers away, so yeah. It is how it is today. Things have developed. But if you look closely in there, they even food on the table, which means they might have run out through a fire. This is what I wanted to end this visit on. A space exhibit. Because we have a Danish astronaut. And, well, that's why we are talking about space in Denmark quite a lot, actually, currently. He has recently returned from space, so yeah. It is a bit of a hot topic as I talk to you from here. But give me a moment or two and I will head out and I will give you my honest opinion of this place. Truth be told, this museum is mainly for families. If you have kids along, it's great. It is okay for an adult. 130 Danish crowns, which is this much in euros and dollars. It's a bit too much for adults. But if you have kids along, they are coming in for free, so no admittance fee for kids, and thereby making it great for kids because there's also plenty of things for kids to dive down into, especially in the age 5 to 10. If you have teenagers along, I wouldn't dare drag my son with me in there. He's 15, so no. But it was fun for me to, well, get back into that museum. I have been there plenty of times, but now I see it with other eyes, because now I don't have my son with me and I'm alone in there, and I see it for what it is. It's a great museum telling the story of technology. And if you're interested in technology as an adult and you are out here alone, check it out. Otherwise, let's head in and get something to eat, because there's something special. I want to show you some special food, so make sure that you take along so we can get something to eat, because I'm hungry. One of the must-do things here in Elsinor is walking the pedestrianized streets. It is where you find shops, it's where you find the cafes, it's where you find something to eat. I have another great place to eat. Wait for that. But it is also where you can summon some atmosphere and get a sense of the old town. So I want to recommend that you walk a bit around in the town, get that feeling of what kind of town was Elsinor back in the day, because it is still very visible as you walk around. And there are some good shops if you know what to look for. So yeah, check them out. And if you're into some lunch, there's great cafes, but as I told you, we are now headed for the great place for something to eat for the entire family. So we are back next to the Maritime Museum. You will find the street food halls, and it is where we're headed. So let's head in and find out if there's great food in there, because the last time I found something great. Let's see if I can do that again. So I went for the Argentinian dish. This one. It's a papito menu with pomfrets, so let's check it out. The pommes looks actually quite great. A little soft. Not soft. It's actually quite great. But no, don't eat with your mouth full. How about the meat? Let's try it out. Yeah, that's great. Nothing like I ever tasted before. It's a little on the sour side, but in a great way. I think it's some herbal mix on. It tastes like cow, but I'm not sure. But nevertheless, this food market is great for the entire family. You can get everything from pizza to sushi to Argentinian food to Greek food. So no matter your taste, it is a great place. But now I want to finish my dinner. And well, then I will head out and see some more of this beautiful town. After some great dinner, why not take a walk along the beautiful harbor? I can warmly recommend that. And try to see if you can spot the merman down here, because there's actually a silver merman. He's actually quite visible once you get down here. It's a reference to The Little Mermaid. Here we have the Little Merman located. And if you have seen The Little Mermaid in Copenhagen, well, you of course have to see the merman in Elsinor. As you walk throughout the town, you will find these handles down here. It's a reference to the ship museum, but as you turn them, a story will come forth.
Når skibet er færdigt, der stabelafløbning.
You can also change it to English. So yeah, that's just another little quirky feature of Elsinor. While in Elsinor, you also have to visit Kronborg right behind me. It is the home of Hamlet, from the famous Shakespeare story Hamlet.